Have you ever took a journey to the other side? Come on, take a ride. Have you ever took a journey? We gon' feel alive.
Wow, it's another day, another hour. Oh, an outstanding opportunity to have some fun. Hey, welcome to Breakfast with the Boys. I'm Tony the Thrill Hill, and bottom line, we're just here to have fun and chat it up. I got my son over here to the left, my colleague, my co-host, my big brother. No, I can't say big brother. My little brother. No, I can't even say that. My son to help me bring it on home. Let's talk to me, big fella.
Let's talk about it. Hey, yeah, we're here for another episode. You all know the deal by now, man. Breakfast with the Boys. We start this thing the same way every time. First and foremost, we give praise to the man above. But then after that, we go into right where we are in the studio, man. MurrayMedia.net. That's why you see the beautiful backdrops. That's why you see the professionally produced content. We got a shout out to our guys over there. And then the other thing we do that people don't get to see, maybe they're recording this, Pops, and they might get a blooper reel. But you play the intro song every time before, and you're jigging a little bit over here when Kurt McGirt comes on.
That's right.
So I don't know. I gotta start looking in the Lost Archives to see if actually that is somewhere that we have it.
Well, the thing is that have you ever took a journey to the other side? That's the way we ride. I hope you enjoy it.
Hey, so Kurt, you might have to get him on the remix.
Hey, but hey, Kurt's done a great job, man. We've had a blast. And again, like you said, our guys right here, Scott Murray, the Murray boys, they taking good care of us over here.
Yeah. So thing we're gonna do a little bit differently this week, man, is that is just father and son today. No guests. Pops, you have a lot of great stories. It's been really cool watching you reminisce with some of your boys. But man, there's a lot of things that I know other people don't know.
Oh, you're gonna go there, huh?
I think so, man.
Okay.
What do you like to say? The smorgasbord?
It's a smorgasbord. You're right.
So whatever they want to get, we can eat. And hey, we started our morning today with we went home cooked, man. We went scrambled eggs, but like I said last time, we had to keep that orange juice consistent. We had to get that Tropicana.
Tropicana, you like that Tropicana? Yeah. I'm kind of like that fresh squeezed juice. I want to come straight from the orange. That's the way I kind of roll. When I do my smoothie, and they say pop. Oh, I need the smoothie.
When my girls say that?
When the girls say they want the smoothie, they know there's bananas, there's cherries, there's a little bit of everything. Like you said, our content is a little bit of everything, and that's the way I like to have it. But it's got to be fresh. We can't go imitation. We can't go carnate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got to go to real deal.
Yeah. At this point, Millie won't. If I want to pick her from school, she refuses to come home without going to your house to get a smoothie. I need a Mimi smoothie. That's what she says every time. So again, man. So we'll go. We're gonna talk about a lot of things. One thing I think is cool, man, we learned something new on every show. A lot of people didn't know that Tony Dorsett would have been a Nittany Lion if they had treated him right and turned him into running back. We've also heard about you playing Legends, but what I think the people don't know is that although you were an NFL superstar, your real love is basketball. And if he won't let you forget that he averaged 31 points a game in high school. Was it 31 or 31.5?
31, that'll work.
Yeah. So for a lot of people know that football players, this is coming from a basketball player. You either guys who couldn't shoot, so they told you to go, run routes, or you're guys who were too much who thought they could play basketball. But I think you could do both, man. And I want to hear about a time, because you played. How often would you say you're playing?
Man, back in the day and during the season, in the off season, I'm running 3 to 5 times a week minimum. Full court. Hey, make sure you're there at 5 o'clock. Matter of fact, I get there at 4:45 because you got to be on that first run, and you can't afford to lose. That's the way that we were running. That's the kind of style that we had. So the bottom line is that I'd be there at 4:45. I'd get my boys, and the bottom line is that we just run the court. And you know how you pick them up. This is how I used to operate though. I'd get a guy that could rebound, a guy that played defense, and another guy that can potentially make an open shot when necessary. Other than that, as long as they're giving me the ball, I'm like Michael. Michael said, hey, I know there's no I in team, but when I shoot, we win. And that's the attitude I had when we play. Yeah, you know that, big fella.
I do know that. So, hey, this is where I want to take this. I think I played college ball, and I might talk about mine later, but there's always a story about one guy who busted you up. And I think you know where I'm going with this, man. I think you got a pretty good story about playing some hoops on a cruise ship in the prime of your life as a Dallas Cowboy. But tell me about that.
And that's crazy, you know. And this is probably one of I've got some humbling experiences in my career, but this is one of them. I'm probably in the prime of my career, probably my second or third year max, or probably my second year in the league. I'm in the league and I'm doing a cruise. I take a cruise line, Norwegian Cruise Line. I remember this distinctively. NFL set this up. I'm flying over to Miami. I grab this cruise and I'm on there and I'm pretty much I'm it. You know, I mean, I got to say, hey, I'm the one. Everybody knows Tony Hill's on the plane. I mean, on the ship, right? And so I'm over there and kind of enjoying it. Of course, everybody coming up to me, et cetera. But I want to get a workout, right? And I'm out there on the deck out there, and they're playing ball. That's my thing. Love the ball, right? And there's a few guys, probably about 8 or 9 guys out there. But I figure, hey, you know, and there's one tall dude. You know, that's the crazy. There's one tall, and they're dominating the court. And I said, hey, man, I'm gonna get this thing in perspective. So I came in there. I everybody knows who I am, so people are watching. They want to see what I can do, right? And so I call this one guy. I said, hey, man, look, you get on my team, all right? Hey, me and you, hey, we'll take on you, the big fella, hey, and your little buddy over here. And they were had a nice little team because, you know, the other guy could play a little bit, and the big guy had a nice little game, you know, but, you know, nothing spectacular, you know. So I said, hey, we'll play, you know. Hey, you guys take the ball out first, right? You know, that's the way I was rolling. I'm trying to keep it cool. I said, you guys take the ball out first. So my little man kicks it out to the big fella, and the big fella sticks a 3 right off the bat. I said, oh, okay. We got a little game.
And if you're hitting threes on a cruise ship, because it wobbles a little bit, right?
Right. You know, that's the thing. You gotta play that. You gotta play that motion in the ocean. You know, that's it. So when you shoot to the right, you gotta make sure that basket's coming right back to the right on you, right? So you're right. There's a little touch with it. So my man takes his first shot, all net, right? And people are like, ooh, you know, they check the thing out. I said, ain't no big deal. So I come up, man. I get up. We get the ball. I shoot an air ball. I say, oh man, what's up here? You know, so hey, so they bring the ball out, you know, and the other guy, my man's not much of an athlete. You know, he's there for the cruise, and he's happy to be there with Tony Hill. You know, he's on the sideline. This will work. So anyway, they get the ball back, they kick it around a couple times, and my man drains another 3. I said, okay, we're going to have to change this up, you know. So I come out, we get the ball back. I come out, and I take a jump shot, hits the front of the rim, comes back to me. I grab it and go for the layup, right? And so we're playing 2s and 1s. They got 4, we got 1, right? And we're going to 10. So we got to have some stops over here. So my guy's about 6'5", maybe, you know, and I'm 6'2", but I got good ups, you know. And so I'm playing him, and I block his shot, but he gets it right back, and then boom, all net in my face again. I said, oh man, we got to change this up a little bit, you know. So I get another shot. We get the ball. Like again, it's basically he and I. You know, my guy would do nothing. Remember I talking about what kind of teams I want? Yeah. I just want somebody who can throw me the ball. So my guy's throwing me the ball. I take the jump shot. I make that shot. So we're up down 4-3. But, you know, like, again, I got people watching. I got to be on my game.
You're sweating hard at this point.
So now I've changed my game up. See, the bottom line is now I'm getting down deep and dirty. I'm getting down, buckle down defense, playing him, man. He's right-handed, so I'm playing him to the left. Shade him left in his jersey, man. You know what I'm talking about? I'm in his jersey. If my coach could have got me to play defense like this in high school, we might have been a beast, you know. But, hey, I got pride on the line. You know, I got my man. I'm up in his face. I'm playing him to the right. He gets a pick, but I try to get through the pick, man. And he goes up for the jump shot again. Now, I hit his hand, man. I hit his wrist because I'm playing him to the left. Man, you know, I'm making him go left. I hit his wrist all net. I said, man, that's a darn good shot. You know, that's a darn good shot. You know, anybody shoot like that need to be in the NBA. You know, hey, you just can't shoot like that on a cruise ship going side to side. So I said, okay, we're going to have to try to check this up. Now I'm sweating now big time now. I'm sweating big time. I'm hustling now. I'm telling my man to play some defense. The other guy,
you know, hey, he went from having a fun cruise. Hey, man, you better get on stage.
Right, you get on, because this man, I left out, his man makes a layup, you know, because his man, the other guy's got to do is not too bad. You know, he's okay. He can make a layup, you know, and hit an open jumper, but nothing big time, but big enough to score if we took him away. So now I'm on my man. I'm saying, hey, man, look, hey, you guard him, I got him. Don't switch. You just stay with him. I got him covered, all right? And so we're playing, and I'm playing again, and he kind of crossovers, but it's a slow kind of crossover. Ain't nothing big, but I'm there with him. He goes up for the jump shot, all net. I'm like messed up over here. I'm saying, oh, man, what are we going to do? So I come back, we score, you know, and long story short, my guy's drilling me, man.
Yeah.
I mean, drilling me,
Yes.
And I'm sweat. I'm loaded with sweat. I'm playing buckle down defense. I'm playing tough defense. Matter of fact, probably even hacking my man. You know what I'm talking about? I'm slapping at the ball, slapping at him. I'm hip checking like I'm in the NBA. And the game's over, and they beat us like 10-7, and guy goes, nice game. And I'm looking at this guy. I can't believe he just told me nice game, man. And
An unassuming guy too, right?
unassuming guy.
Yeah.
And on top of that, there's another team waiting to play.
So you got to get off the court.
I got to get off the court. But on top of that, they beat that team on the next game, and they leave.
You don't get a chance to get
I don't get a chance to play again. I don't get a chance to play him. I'm playing these other guys. Again, for lack of a better term, they weren't the best athletes that were on the cruise. They were there for the cruise, the pina coladas, the daiquiris, that kind of stuff. They weren't there to really, play competitive basketball.
So who's this dude?
So no, check this out. So now I go and I got an autograph session, right? And I go take a shower, and I go in the autograph session. I'm sitting there, and it's a line out there. It's packed. It's packed. And one of the guys comes up to me, hey, man, Tony Hill, I'm a big fan. I'm going to let you know I love you. But guess what, man? There's another star on the board, too. I said, oh, really? Who's here? He said, man, Kelly Tripucka with the Detroit Pistons. I said, what? Kelly Tripucka? You're kidding me. Wait a minute. About 2 minutes later, a guy comes strolling down the hallway, and he waves at me smiling. And I go, hey, all right, man, you played me to the T. I mean, I'd never felt so bad at all like that. My man schooled me, didn't say a word, gave me the nice smile, and kept on going. When I got him one-on-one, I said, hey, man, if I ever see you again, don't you ever pull that again, man. Yeah, you let me know what time it is before we get started, all right? Hey, you talking about messing with a reputation. That really hurt me, man. I just want to give you some heads up over there.
That's funny. Hey, so my own version of this, sophomore year at Colgate in the Patriot League. This is now 2010. Not a lot has come out of the Patriot League.
Right.
We're playing a school called Lehigh. There's a freshman at Lehigh who's leading the nation in scoring as freshman. Skinny guy, got braces. We're going through scout coaches saying like, "Hey, nobody leave this guy." I'm like, "Coach, come on, man. Like, I'm not saying we're not Colgate, but this is Lehigh. Come on." So they come into the gym. And I'm like, all right, guys, we're gonna lock this guy up. It was me, Mike Venezia, as a guy on our team. He's still coaching to this day.
Is he really?
Yeah. So we're playing this guard from Lehigh, and Pop, similar to how you're saying, you're assuming this guy is smooth. He's not fast. You think you could time his moves, but you can't speed him up. You can't take the ball from him, and he's hitting all net everything to the point now where, like you said, I'm feeling like I can see your Kelly Tripucka story. He's shooting the ball, boom, slapping his arm, all net. He ends the game, took 13 shots. So he's 9 for 13. I don't forget this. 9 for 13. He took 13 shots, had 30 points against us.
Here's the crazy thing about it. I do remember that as well. I'm saying, man, come on, man. That's a freshman. You can't stop this dude. You talking about your pride. You got Pop's pride. I'm sitting up here in the stands. And there's this young brother, he's like sticking the jump shots. I'm all Anthony. I'm all about my son. I know he can handle him. I just figured he can handle him. And then come to find out, who is he?
CJ McCollum, man. I mean, I've played some guys who might have given it to me, but none like that where it wasn't like I was just like, well, coach, he's too fast. You just had nothing for him, man. He was lanky. He was quicker than you think, shifty than you think. So I felt vindicated when I watched him put 30 on Duke in the tournament. So I told you guys this guy could go.
Yeah, that's funny because, man, again, Tripucka, he slept me, man. He really slept me. You knew what was going on, but again, as a freshman, you're saying, hey, maybe he ain't really had no knuckle-down defense on him, and I can give him a little business on the offensive end. And again, my guy was totally unassuming when you say that because I'm seeing some big, tall dude out here on a cruise, and his wardrobe wasn't the best. I was out there. I've got my Nike outfit on. I got some beautiful Puma shoes because I was a Puma boy back in the day.
Yeah, you were the first Puma guy, weren't you?
I was the first. I was the first one in the NFL wearing it or had a contract with them, And so the bottom line is I'm thinking, I'll have a little bit of fun, get a little workout, and, do my thing. But I didn't know I was going to get humiliated. Hey, my man just broke me down.
Hey, so speaking of humiliation, speaking of basketball, and I took this back to college, I got to ask you about something that I don't know if you've ever said to anyone but me, actually, at this point, or our family. So you were a projected first-round pick coming out of Stanford. You know where I'm going with this. A projected first-round pick. You were an All-American. You were all Pac-12. At the time, leading all-time receiver at Stanford. We just talked about how you played ball, 3 to 5 times a week. You just couldn't stay off the court. That was the way you like to stay in shape. You get injured going into your senior year. You mess your ankle up. There's a news story that comes out here about, correct me if I'm wrong here, picking up a young lady's books and you tripped over him, messed up your ankle.
Well, you're close.
Tell me this what the newspaper said. Then tell us what really happened.
So this is going to be a humbling episode. So I'm good with that because that's what we're going to do. Because we want to see a little bit of everything. And so here's the deal, man. My junior year, I'm like 7th in the nation in receiving. I come into senior year, I'm a big man on the campus. And we play Army in our first game of the season, man. I'm thinking stats. This is a stat game. It's a good thing about it. It's a stat game, and we win. So boom, boom. Yeah. So I'm out, man. I've got probably 5 or 6 catches in the first quarter. I'm rolling. And I try to break one, and I sprain my ankle. First game of the season, of my senior year, I sprained my ankle. So now, I got to go out, and I'm upset. Not the fact that I sprained my ankle, the fact that we're playing Army, and I should have 20 catches in this game. I'm talking about NFL, college record kind of action. I was on that kind of roll. So anyway, now, I got to sit out. I've never really had a sprained ankle, but the thing is, though, I never taped my ankles. Never did. And didn't tape it after that. That's what's even worse. I didn't learn. But anyway, I sit out 1 game, sit out 2 games, and this is senior year, big time. You need to have this. So I sit out 2 games, and we got the 3rd game coming up, right? And my boys, my roommates over there, they playing basketball over at the gym over here, man. And they say, man, hey, we're going over here to the gym, man. I know you don't need to play, but hey, you want to come hang out? Because that's what we did. At Stanford, there's probably like about 20 brothers that were in our area that we kind of hung out. We all played basketball together, right? And this is one of those, what do you call those secondary gyms over here? One of the smaller gyms that they had. It was close to our dorm. So let me go just shoot a few baskets, and that's cool. Ain't nothing going to happen. So I go out there and I'm shooting a few baskets while they're playing. Next thing you know, I'm in the game. I'm in the game and I'm going up for a drive. And I got this brother trying to block my shot, man. And I go up for the jump shot in your face. I put it in his face and he steps on my ankle and retwisted. Now I can't. I said, oh, man. I'm down. I'm hurt again. I can't let these guys know what it's. I can't.
You're supposed to be rehabbing. You can't be out here.
Rehab. I can't go back to the practice field. And how do you explain this? Because I haven't really practiced, but I'm ready to go. Officially ready to go this next game. I re-sprained it. So I said, what am I going to do? And so the professors asked me, what's going on? I said, hey man, I was walking to class. This young lady was riding this bicycle. I was trying to get out of her way, and boom, she ran over me. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm able to tell this story now 40, 50 years later, but the bottom line is that I re-sprained my ankle, and I told a lie. I literally said, hey, man, bottom line is that, hey, this girl, this fictitious girl, I didn't have a name, couldn't tell you. They would have asked me the color of the bike, they would have screwed my whole story because I didn't even have a color of a bike. I had no other excuse other than the fact that somebody ran over me and I sprained my ankle. Bottom line is that, I ended up playing that game, but I hobbled. And I ended up playing the rest of the season, but I still had a messed-up ankle, and ended up I probably finished in the top 10 in the nation receiving, but I missed 3 games, and hobbled through a half of them. So, but the bottom line is that, I was on the quad, and I sprained my ankle getting out the way of a young lady on campus. So that's what happened, and let's say that's what went in the paper.
Oh man, I gotta dig that article up. I know it's somewhere.
Yeah, it's there.
That's a classic. So all right, I got a bunch of things. Like I said, this might be Tony Hill Unfiltered that I got going on here.
And the good thing about it is that's the first told. I think you may have had a general knowledge, but none of my teammates, other than my roommates, you talking about keeping a secret, they did a hell of a job because we kept that tight. My guys aren't good. They got loose lips, my boys. And when they hear this story, they're going to say, hey, man, I can't believe you told this story after we held this for all these years. Now you're going to let this go about what happened as far as just sprained ankle your senior year.
Oh, man, that is funny. And you know what else I'm thinking about? Just the journey that you took, and now fast forward as a parent, and you're now on the coaching side. And if anybody knows what like a stereotypical AAU coach is, a stereotypical AAU coach especially in middle schools, any tall kid that comes by, they say, "Hey, you play ball? Where do you play at?" But what I want to talk about, we touched on this in a couple episodes, but I don't think you really got a chance to tell the story. Just how you were recruiting kids, because you coached me in AAU, you coached Kelly's team, you coached Leslie's team. I don't know if you coached Cassie.
Cassie wouldn't let me coach her. Hey, my oldest daughter said, I ain't going for it, Pops. Yeah, you go coach somebody else. I don't want to hear it. Hey, I'm having fun.
But I'm thinking about, even thinking about Kelly's team. In Dallas, you had a girl coming up. Where was she driving up from?
Waco.
Waco. So if everyone knows, she was coming 2.5 hours.
Rachel was her name.
Yeah, for practice. This is get behind the mind if my man was out here really recruiting. I want to talk about some of my teammates, man. You found a diamond in the rough a couple of times. One of which at Hoop It Up. The other time we talked with Walls last week about Hamilton Park. We talked that story a little bit. Tell me how you found Cole Beasley at Hoop It Up.
Well, that's a great story. You know, as an AAU coach, man, I got to get some height. I got to find some height. So we got you guys had AAU. I mean, you guys had a Hoop It Up game. So I had you, Dan, and somebody, Zach, maybe a couple of my teammates or a couple of kids that I had that I coached playing Hoop It Up, because I just want them guys to get tough. You know, they're probably 10 years old at this time, I think, about 9 or 10, somewhere in that area. And I'm saying, hey, we just got to get tough. And in the meantime, though, not only getting tough, I'm looking for an additional player. I need somebody. If you remember Courtney Dunn, I pulled a guy 6th grade. See, I pulled one on you, didn't I?
I forgot about that. I pulled a guy
6'3", 6'4". We 10 years old. I got a diamond in the rough, but that wasn't I pulled that maybe a couple years later. But the bottom line is the big one was we're playing Hoop It Up, and I can't find nobody. But all of a sudden, man, there's this one black team. They got one little white guy on the team, and this white dude is giving the business. You know, but I don't need a short guy, but I need somebody that, you know, that's tall and can jump. But I keep looking at this guy, man, and I keep seeing him taking these guys to the hoop left and right, and I'm trying to figure out. I said, man, who is this little boy? You know, who is this? And so I come up to you. I don't know if you remember. I say, yeah. Matter of fact, I went and got you guys. You guys were eating and chilling out. I went and got, hey, come over. I need you to take a look at it. And I remember my tallest guy at that time was 5'9", and we're
not tall by that standard.
And at that time, you guys are about 5'3", 5'4", because remember, you guys 9 or 10, and my tallest guy's like about 5'9", right? You know, I mean, with Travis or whatever the case may be. But anyway, I see this little white dude giving the business. I said, man, hey, what do y'all think about this dude? And you go, man, hey, Pops, he can play. Hey, actually, you didn't say Pops. You said, Dad, he can play. You didn't start calling me Pops until after you beat me in hoop, after you blocked my shot once. That's when you started calling me Pops.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, but you called me Dad, you know. He said, Dad, man, he can play. So I went over there. I said, hey, man, matter of fact, I camped. I put a seat, you know, just like you're a scout. I sat on the sideline and watched the whole game. We're supposed to be prepping for the next game. We got the next game in about 2 hours, but I'm sitting here watching this whole game. I said, all right, we got to find a way to get this guy on. Bottom line, I ended up talking to his dad. Talked to his mom. She gave me a lot more love. And the next thing you know, we got Cole on our team. And I'll tell you what, Cole Beasley, if you guys don't know, played football with the Dallas Cowboys. I used to, you know, and here's a crazy story about it. We hooked Cole up. I mean, it was a fantastic pickup. But, you know, I'd bring Cole. Cole's like your best friend. You know, you guys would spend the night at the house before the games. And so I have Cole to make sure I get him to the games, make sure he's all good to go.
Because he was living in the country. He was far.
Yeah, he was living away. So we wanted to make sure that, you know, I was trying to make it easy for him and his mom and his dad, which were phenomenal parents. He's totally blessed to have phenomenal parents. But the thing is, though, Cole would come home. I'm trying to get you guys mentally ready for basketball. Hey, we're getting mentally ready for basketball. Cole's bringing in VHS tapes of him in playing Pop Warner football. Now as they get older, he's bringing high school football or middle school football. And I'm saying, hey, man, look, this is basketball, baby. We're talking basketball. I mean, Cole's thing was football. And here's the deal. He was first team in basketball, first team in baseball, first team in football.
You're forgetting track.
And he could long jump out incredible. I mean, this guy, when he hit the board, he didn't just go long. He went up and long. You know, the thing that really just kind of just bite or chap my behind, as they say, you know, is that our guys, you know, when Cole made his first slam everybody else thought they could slam. Cole was small. You and Cole were the smallest guys on the team, but Cole might have been the first guy that really threw it down at that age over there. And once he threw it down once, he thought he could throw it down every time, which he couldn't. But you got to remember though, we're talking about sixth.
At this point, we're 8th and 9th grade when he's throwing it down.
Yeah, he's throwing it down 8th and 9th grade. But the bottom line, it really messed up the rest of our team because I got you who had, you had what's called white man disease. You got about 2 inches on your jump, on your vertical. You trying to slam dunk, and I got Dan who's got less vertical than you, and he's like 6'3", and he barely touching the rim. But the bottom line is that we were athletes. I used to take these young bucks, and I would play them, and we'd play up. We'd play all the big boys. And I'll never forget, I know I've digressed a little bit, but
no, it's good.
We play. The way that I coach, my style was that here's the deal. They had green light. They can fire it from anywhere, anytime. You got to admit that. I gave you guys green light. But the bottom line, bottom line, if you saw somebody else open, if you wanted, would you want them to pass you the ball? And you can honestly say, no, I don't want him to pass me the ball, then that's a good shot for you to take. Meaning that you took a shot even though a guy was open. You're saying that if that had been you didn't mind that situation. But I also say, hey, look, here's the deal. If they went up for a left-handed layup, they went up on the left-hand side of the basket and used their right hand, I benched them. I pulled them out the game. As a matter of fact, this is the kind of coach I was. I guess I was a trip. We had a game. We were playing against, I think it was LaMarcus Aldridge, I think, though. Was he a senior, though? You guys were in the 9th grade. So they were seniors. Sloan.
It was Donald. I put it this way: these guys went to Texas A&M, Texas. One of the guys I think ended up going to Oklahoma State. They're going into senior year. We're going into freshman year. So not only are we outmatched because these guys are the top in their class, they're also 3 years older than us. Go ahead. I'll let you get. No,
you're right. They're also 3 years old, and they're four-star minimum. Like I said, they're going Division I college. This whole squad. And so anyway, we got 5 guys on my team.
Daryl Arthur. That's the guy's name.
Daryl Arthur. That's what exactly. So we got a tournament. I got my boys playing up. I wanted to play against the best, and even though we were really way out of our league from this standpoint, they're still getting a good, valuable lesson. And the boys grew up. But the bottom line is that we had 5 guys, and I had one guy, and these guys, man, it was like an all-star game. They throwing the ball off the backboard, slam. They hook shot.
We get down by 40 points at one point in this game.
Well, if we got down by 40, we down by 25 minimum in the first 20 minutes of the game. We down, and so
running clock early.
They started running clock early, and I got one of my guys who just give me lip service. He's all mad and talking about they fouling me. Nobody's touching them. Hey, they can grab a shot from anywhere on the court. And I said, hey, man, if you give me more lip service, I'm going to sit you out the game. You can't sit me out. We only got 5 guys. I said, I'll tell you what, we'll play with 4. You give me any more lip service. Next down court, I got Draymond Green right here. That's why I got Draymond Green running down the court. I said, all right, timeout, coach. Timeout, ref. I said, Draymond, which I'm really, I'm exaggerating. Draymond, I hope you appreciate and love this. But the bottom line, I said, hey, come over and have a seat with me. And I said, ref, it was a 30-second time. All I wanted was 30 seconds. So they come back in. We got 4 guys. And the ref said, hey, man, you're missing a guy. I said, no, we're good. We've been missing that guy the whole game. So we're gonna play with we're gonna play with 4, and we played with 4. Here's the deal: we ended up probably losing by about 40 points, maybe 30-some.
It was 40. I won't forget that.
But the bottom line is that after the game, though, the guys came up and gave us some daps. He said, "Hey, coach, I just want to let you know your boys got heart. They got some game. They're gonna be players later on." And we went into this box. We went into a box. I got Cole and Anthony, 2 guys that are 5'8" at best, playing point, and I got 2 forwards, and that was about John West. And was it Kevin? Was he there then?
I can't.
It might have been Dan. Well, Kevin and somebody else. But anyway, long story short, though, my boys, my policy is you're not going to give your best effort, then you don't need to play. I put them on the bench, and we played with 4. Other guys are looking at me like deer in the headlights, like, Coach, are you serious? I said, serious as a heart attack. We're going to do it this way, and that's the way we rolled.
Yeah, I will not forget that. And your resume though was strong when I think about recruiting. If only we may have had less athletes and more basketball players, we would have really been right. But we had 6 guys go high major Division I for football. You had David play receiver at Arizona, right. Dan receiver at Texas, Cole receiver at SMU. Jeff receiver at A&M,
yeah.
Jeremy defensive end Oklahoma State.
Right.
that was all on our basketball team. So as you said, you're talking about guys who was showing you the football tapes. Yeah, we were struggling a bit.
No, I had athletes. We had athletes. The bottom line is that, hey, I had athletes. I had a few shooters, and so we full court press. Nolan, not Cromwell. Nolan Richardson from Arkansas, from the University of Arkansas, would have loved us. Just our style, because the bottom line, man to man or zone press, and we're rolling, And like again, our guy, if we're on, you're really in trouble because we can shoot. We can light up.
Speaking of before I go next question on you. Thinking about getting Courtney Dunn early on. Courtney Dunn ended up going to Boston College. You had an eye for some guys who could play.
Did he really go to Boston College?
Yep, Courtney Dunn played at Boston College. I forgot about that. So
this is a guy pulled, I think they were probably in the 9th, 10th grade.
This is early. You got him early.
9th grade?
No, 6th grade. We're in middle school.
That's right.
Because we were playing up. So
right.
you're like, hey, man, you still going to play against your own age.
Right.
You come play with us.
Right, exactly. That's what it was, exactly. So, hey. But again, our team is called Showtime. So hey, we roll. The Lakers were the bad boys back in the day. They were officially the Showtime originators, but we the official Showtime on the court. We had the Showtime jerseys, we had the Showtime game, and get this, we had people come check us out all the time. And again, our boys played up. You guys played up every all the time. You never played our age over there. So
yeah. So all right. Or as we're talking coaching, that's going to bring me to a few other points. And I know you said earlier this feels like a humbling episode. I don't know if it's over yet. So
I like it.
I remember as a kid watching you coach Lexington. Was it Lexington Academy?
Lexington Academy.
Lexington Academy. I'm young at this point. I'm 3-4 years old. So my only what I remember from this was that there was nobody in the stands because I could run. I could run back and forth and dance at the halftime, but. Well, you had 16 guys on this team, give or take, right?
Oh man, yeah. This is another good humbling story. And again, for our listeners out here, and FYI, and this is where we're going to roll. I'm glad we're going this way. And I'm glad you're going down this highway. As a matter of fact, you went down a highway, actually you went down a freeway. You just opened up the lanes. But Bottom line is that there's Lexington Academy. I got a chance to coach at Lexington Academy. My first coaching experience at a high school level, so to speak. And this is one of those Christian-based schools, and I had rededicated my life to Jesus Christ, which was a great opportunity, and I get a chance to coach at Lexington Academy. The thing they didn't tell me, though, is the fact that the bottom line is that I only had 16 players. So, hey, I got 16 players. So imagine trying to coach your team. Imagine trying to practice. We couldn't all we had was half line drills. I have 4-on-4 and then 2 receivers, and we play half on this half, 4-on-4 on this side, and we play half on this side. And we couldn't afford anybody to go down because we didn't have any players. So here's the deal, though. So now, I get the job and I introduce my coaching staff. And my coaching staff, I had a guy by the name of Doug Donnelly, White Lightning, the one that we talked about in the Tony Dorsett. So the race, that's the best way to phrase it. The race. I had Doug Donnelly, White Lightning, as my offensive coordinator, and I brought a guy by the name of Aaron Mitchell, one of my boys from back in the day with the Cowboys, all in the Cowboys, both second-round draft picks. He was my defensive coordinator, and so I introduced him, and I'm not at a school assembly. They introduced us at a school assembly. I introduced and Mitch gets up and he starts quoting scriptures. And I'm like, man, I'm major impressed, because Doug was like, hi, my name's Doug Donnelly. I'll be your offensive coordinator. Thank you very much. Mitch gets up just like Philippians 4:13. He's just quoting scriptures left and right. And the not the dean, but the headmaster at the school is like,
I got the right guys.
I got the right guys for sure. And my guy's got gleam in his eyes, and I'm digging. I'm like, I'm shocked that Mitch is coming this way. So hey, we start practicing, and Mitch, we had no athletes. I don't want to say we had a couple athletes, right? I had one guy who was a wide receiver, was a beast, and I had to throw the ball to him every time if I had a chance. And we didn't get him for the whole season. But the bottom line is that we're having practices, and Mitch is cursing these guys out left and right. He's on them. He's jumping on them. You stop, kick your move. I said, oh, man, we can't. Again, I'm letting him do his thing, though, because I'm taught to get results. This is my first game. But we had a Christian-based school, right? First game, we get smacked. Second game, we get smacked. Third game, we did okay. And so the headmaster calls me in. He goes, hey, Tony, I just want to let you know how's things going. I said, well, hey, I think things are going to be going better. I'm going to make a few changes in our lineup. and hopefully it'll help us. We're thin and it's kind of tough to play. It's really tough when you got 16 guys on your team and the other guys got, they got 48, 50 people on the sideline. Their team on the sideline. I got 16 guys.
That means 5 on the sideline.
Right. I got 5 on the sideline when they're playing. Right. During the game. And so anyway, and the guy said, well, you know what? I think we're having a slight little problem. We got, from what I understand, one of your coaches is he's quoting scriptures, and it's not scriptures out of the Bible. I said, I'm not sure if I know what you're talking about, but I think that I can address that.
Yeah.
And I go to Mitch. I said, Mitch, man, hey, man, the word is out. Like when you were quoting scriptures, the word is out that you're still quoting scriptures. And it's not the kind that you hear in the Bible because we need to eliminate that totally. And he said, yeah, okay, we can do that. So with that being said, though, with that being said, I mean, it was funny as I don't know what. But with that being said, I got, like I said, 16 players. I got this offensive lineman who wants to run the ball. I said, hey, man, you can't run the ball. I need you. You're the biggest player on our team. I need you, to open up a hole. He said, I don't want to block no more. I said, okay, all right. You don't want to block? All right, I'm going to put John over here on the line. John weighed 125 pounds on the offensive line.
Yeah.
Didn't want to be there in the first place. I put him on the offensive line. And I felt kind of bad, but I thought, unfortunately, I was trying to teach this guy a lesson. I say, hey, look, man, we can't do it, so to speak. And so I put him the fullback, taught him a few plays, and I don't know how this happened, but we ended up getting a field goal kicker. A soccer player comes out on his team, and Dad says, hey, look, he can come kick for you, but he ain't playing.
Yeah.
He can kick, but you ain't playing. I said, okay, no worries. We didn't have no field goal kickers.
Right. This gravy on top.
This gravy on top. I forgot to mention that. We had 16 players, no field goal kicker. We got to go for everything. I'm running trick plays left and right. Long story short, I put this guy at fullback, and he's running over everybody. He's got 170 yards, 170 yards, 3 touchdowns. My field goal kicker's going to kick the field goal. We didn't won. I said, what? I said, oh, man, I didn't create a monster. And my guy's got gleam in his eye. So we come up the next time, we play the next game, we win again, it was like a 14-12, and so we come up the next game, but my man's been taking a beating. He's running over 4 or 5 times, 5 guys at a time. He's Earl Campbell of the past, or the future, like. I mean, he's taking a beating. They done broke him down. So we get up to the game. This is how tough our team was. We get up. I'm running halfback passes, throw back to the quarterback. I'm using every trick play that you've got, so to speak. And so the game is 14 to 12, I think it was. No, 14-13 to tie the game. Anyway, long story short, we needed an extra point. We know we needed a field goal to win, right? And we're down by 2. And so this team that we're playing, we can line up for a field. I said, just kick the field goal, right? Let's just win this game. Come on, let's give us 3 games, and hey, glory to God, all and everything, so to speak. So they get up, and again, remember, this guy, all he did was kick field. He ain't doing nothing else, not even thinking about it anymore. They snap the ball. A guy comes through the line, takes the ball off the tee. Yeah, you don't hear me though.
Yeah, like my man's holding. He took it.
We snapped the ball. My guy's getting ready to kick a field goal. He comes off, grabs the ball off the tee, and races 85 yards for a touchdown. I'm saying, what's going on, man? What's going on? So I called the guy over. I'm like hysterical. What are you doing, David? What are you doing, man? How come you didn't tackle him? How come you didn't kick the field goal? And he goes up to me and says, hey, coach. Just like this, hey, coach, the guy was faster than us. He took the ball off the tee. He outran me. That's it. I said, what? Wait, you're going to tell me without any emotion that, that you could have made an effort or anything. He said, no. He said, no. He said, the guy was faster than me. He could outrun me, and he scored a touchdown. And so that really set the tone for our team. So now, giving you an idea, that's kind of where our nucleus. We didn't win another game after that.
I recall that story.
But we made it to the playoffs. I think we ended up 3-8. We made it to the playoffs, and we're playing the number 1 team in the division in the state. And we played them at first in a scrimmage, and they had 35 points in about 3 minutes into the game. They smacked it. My guys didn't want to go back on the field. I only got 16 guys. Tough way to start, right? So now we're playing them in the playoffs. Long story short, Mitch comes up with this. He says, "Coach, I got a kickoff return that I think's a winner. We just need to try. We got nothing to lose." I said, "Well, shoot, put it in." Yeah. I'm open to put it in. So we got a reverse. I mean, it was cold blooded. Actually, I got to give Mitch some credit. So they kick off deep. Our guy catches it. We set the wedge right, but the guy in the wedge in the middle, he turns around, and my guy hands him the ball and keeps going down the middle. And a guy from the outside comes around. He hands him the ball and takes off. And so, hey, man. He catches the ball. I mean, we run this perfectly. Next thing I know, my man's got 10 yards on everybody going down the sideline. I'm right beside him. Go. They walk him, man. They walk him down at about the 5-yard line.
Did you guys score?
We scored, but check out how we scored. I had to throw a halfback pass.
From the 5-yard line.
For the 5-yard line. I mean, we're desperate. I threw a halfback pass from the 5-yard line. We're up 7-0. You know, it's about 4th down. I wasn't going for it. I said, we're going to kick we got to get a touchdown. We
don't get a touchdown here. We ain't getting no touchdowns.
Right. So now, so check this out. So now we come back down. We kick off. They fumble the ball. We get the ball on the 20. We gain 2 yards, but it's 4th down. I don't want to take a chance because they're dominating our line. So I call a throwback to the quarterback. I mean, I'm talking about I'm throwing everything. I hit a guy on a reverse. He goes and he throws the ball to the quarterback. Boom, we score. Now we're up 14-0. We're up 14-0, 4 minutes into the game. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. Final score of the game was 65-14. Hey, they drilled us for a minute. We never got back in. 65-14. We scored 14 points in 4 minutes.
Oh, man.
Heck of an experience, man. Heck of experience.
Man. Oh, man. So, yeah, you're in trouble if you're 4 minutes in and you've already pulled out all your trick plays.
All trick plays, man. Hey.
That's funny. So, listen, I think, man, there's a couple of stories that I wanted to hit, but the good news is Breakfast with the Boys is going to be every week. So I'm going to hold one of these in my holster because I don't want this to be too much a giveaway. So here's what I'm thinking. Here's where I want to go with this. I think as we get to know Tony Hill, we know Tony Hill, the football player. We now know Tony Hill, the basketball player. We now know Tony Hill, the coach. But one thing we talked about when we started this podcast was talking a little bit about family. And upon leaving and upon you finishing your career, I don't know how many people know this outside of people who offered the job, but you had an opportunity to go be the offensive coordinator at Cal Berkeley. So we would have left Texas, and I would have grew up a Cali boy. And I think you decided not to because you were thinking about the family. What was your thoughts? How did you come up with that, and how did that shape the way you looked at providing for us and putting values in us? Well,
and the reality of it was a good friend of mine, Doug Cosby, was going to become head coach over at Cal Berkeley, and he wanted me to come on over there. And obviously, that's right up in my old stomping ground. Stanford's right around the corner. We go up in the Cal Berkeley area, and this is a great opportunity. Just the fact that he offered me that, as a former player as well. But the bottom line, you guys are etched in stone as far as being here with your family life here in Texas over here. You guys were loving it every moment. Your mama didn't want to leave. The girls didn't want to leave. You were too young at that time. And the bottom line is that, it was more, the move was not necessarily from a professional standpoint, it was from a family standpoint. I wanted to maintain that consistency, that continuity that we've had as a family. And, with God blessing it, it all turned out great. It was a blessing in itself because I was able to achieve. I started my Legends company and ended up going to work for the city, which is probably another humbling experience for me when I made that transition. But the bottom line is that, it was all about family. In our show that we talk about, family is our number one thing. That's the thing that, God's number one in my life. Family's number two, and everything else is centered around that, And if we can't live and walk that way and being at that point stage of my life, it wasn't worth it. And the bottom line is that, man, would that have been a great opportunity? It was a great opportunity. But being able to coach you guys, be able to be with you guys, be able to be there, there's nothing better than that. And that's what it's all about. And that's kind of what I think we want to do. When we talked about this show, we said, hey, you know what? You know a lot of people, Dad, and I know that you like to talk, you like to have a fun, but you know what? Let's take this to a different scope. We don't have to talk about all the accolades that they have. We want to talk about the experiences on and off and the spiritual experiences. And this gives us that forum. This gives us that venue. And that's what I like. Again, I've been humbled. I shared with you. There's another story that perhaps we'll probably share another time or even now. But the bottom line is that it's been a humbling experience, but it's been a great experience, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, there's things that you don't appreciate as a kid. You don't have the perspective. You don't have the perspective or the understanding of what's going on, and it wasn't until not to say you didn't work with and meet a lot of great people at the City of Allen, because you certainly did, but I didn't truly appreciate how much of that part of your career and life you were doing for us, in terms of it provided you an opportunity to be at all of our games, all of our practices. It allowed you to be all the places you wanted to be. Now that I have kids of my own and I'm working, I mean, one, I just want to say thank you. But man, how was that as an experience? Going from where you might have thought you were headed, coaching and all this, to then saying, man, I got to think of the family first. And if the family comes first, like you're saying, this is the right place for me. Because you had your own Legends Promotions company where you were able to play ball a couple hours every day. You guys were going on the road doing autograph sessions. And then you said, you know what, man, I need to be something that allows me to be around more. Is that something you ever think about or think twice about making that decision?
Never think twice about it. I mean, again, going to the city was most certainly a humbling experience. I mean, without a question. But when I say it though, it was again, as a blessing. It all worked out, of course. But yeah, with the company Legends, it was feast or famine, and the feast was fantastic. The famine was, it had its moments. But the bottom line is though, every weekend I was gone doing autograph sessions. I was leaving Friday, coming back Sunday. And I'm missing. I was missing. I used to have a radio talk show, which was at from 5 to 7. Bottom line, when you guys are really young, I'm heading to the studio at 3:30. To prep for the show, getting home at 8. I'm missing you guys. Don't see you in the morning. It was a tough deal. So with the Legend Sports Promotions, and which was great, I was doing special events all over the country. I was helping raising funds for a variety of organizations. But the reality of it is that I wasn't home. And so with the city, they gave me an opportunity, not one, to be able to fulfill, taking care of the family. Also, something that I grew up. I grew up in Parks and Recreation. That's where I made my name on the playing football at the Parks and Recreation. So there was a natural tie, just being associated, something that I did have a desire to do. But on the other side, though, it gave me the opportunity to travel and coach and have time to spend more time with the family. True blessing, turned out to be great. Were there some difficult times? Without a question. I had to swallow a pill, so to speak. From the standpoint, I had to eat my pride to maintain there. There's some, but you know what? There were some great people there. I had some great times, and I'm totally grateful.
Yeah, but there's a Maya Angelou quote that comes to mind that actually I might butcher it, but it's essentially the essence of it is that I am one, but I represent 10,000. I represent thousands, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so when I think about the decisions that you made, and I understand how it allowed all of us to be the now adults that we are, I'm always grateful for you, Ahman. I think about, even in my life, I think, Kels, how can I be the spouse and the husband and the father that you were, to allow her to be the type of mom that my mom was. And I don't know that we ever truly are able to show enough gratitude for that, but I never realized until 20 years is a long time, and that's how long you put in service at the City of Allen. Now I'm at a job for 5 years, and I'm like, man, I don't know how we can do this for a couple more, man. So I just truly appreciate that.
Well, here's the deal. I mean, the reality of it is that my dad used to say, keep on living until you walked a mile in my shoes. Just enjoy the process, man. So, God is good. He provides, it's what you do with those lessons. Every day you can learn, the way that I envision that I can learn something from somebody every day. So I don't discount any conversation with anybody. I do not, anytime I have a chance to talk to somebody or somebody wants to talk to me, I'm going to listen to them. Because I may learn something I don't want to do or something I do want to do, but I know that God gave me a gift, and that's the ability to be able to listen and be able to take that and make something happen. And so totally blessed, and those blessings come. They come, and you know what? This is a blessing. The fact that you said what you just said means more than you can imagine. And you know what? I'm just blessed to have kids and a wife like I have right now, and the friends that I have as well. So with that being said, with Breakfast with the Boys, again, you catch everything at our show. You know, today was our humbling experience, but every day is a humbling experience. And that's what you got to do. If you can be humble, you're able to see a lot more clear and be able to interpret things in a light that may be beneficial not only to you, but other people that you're around with. And so our Breakfast with the Boys on the smorgasbord today was called Humble Pie. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. We'll be back next week.
There we go.
Have you ever took a journey to the other side? Come on, take a ride. Have you ever took a journey? We gon' feel alive. You gon' feel